Hello, everybody. It's Brian here, and I'm going to tell you about some sale records I found. Now, on the topic of sales, I have to say that I feel disadvantaged being a Canadian. Firstly, because we do not have that amazing Walmart sale that I hear about constantly from south of the border. We have Walmart, of course. They don't sell records, in the stores at least. You will never see a record on the floor of a Walmart store. The Walmart Canada's website does have records, but they're not cheap. So we don't have that. We don't have Target either. Don't have Barnes and Noble. Is it Barnes and Noble or Barnes and Nobles? Who knows? We can get cheapish records sometimes on Amazon if there's a sale. And there are occasionally sales in town. So I do go to those, and they're hit and miss, I guess. There is a store I go to quite frequently, though, that has a sale bin when you walk in the store. And I would say half of that bin is used records that are quite common. So if you wanted to get a copy of I, Robot by Alan Parsons or something like that, you could probably find a copy for $2 or $3. You'd have to check the condition, though, because sometimes the record might not be in great shape, or the seams might be split, so things like that. The other half has sealed items, and over the years I found some amazing things in the sale bin there, and they're marked down. Could be just a few dollars, sometimes 50% off, and I've found some really great stuff. I went in recently, and they had a sign that said everything in the sale bin would be 50% off the red sticker price, which I thought was incredible. So 50% off the already marked down price. And they had an overflow section on the floor in milk crates of things that they were trying to get rid of. I guess things weren't moving. Some things were multiple copies, some things were one-offs, or by the time I saw it, there was one copy left. So I bought too many, in other words. And I'm going to show you what they are, the first 5 today. I'm going to try to remember to tell you sort of what I paid for it. I didn't keep detailed notes. And there could be 2 or possibly 3 more videos of this sale bin thing that I'm talking about here. And all right, that's enough introduction. Let's keep going. So the first one, I think I remember this. The original price was $39.99. It was marked down and marked down again. So this was around $14 Canadian, which for you Americans is about $10. And that's My Morning Jacket. This is live from RCA Studio A bracket Jim James acoustic. So although this is a My Morning Jacket record, it's really Jim James playing 7 tracks from the My Morning Jacket 2021 release, self-titled, in an acoustic set that was released in 2022 for Record Store Day in an edition of 5,000 copies. So it's good to know how many there are. Sometimes you have limited edition stated and you don't know what that actually means. So there are 100 copies. Terrible black inner sleeve, 45 RPM, and a download card. And on download cards, I actually use them. Some people don't, but I put songs on my iPod. It's great for the car, although the car has a CD player. I don't want to constantly change discs or drag them around with me, so I usually use the iPod, and you can hit the random button, which is kind of cool. And then you end up hearing things you forgot about. But that was actually a pretty good deal. I do like the band. I have heard some of these tracks. They're on YouTube as well, the performance. So I listened to some of those. Sounds good, some mellowy kind of Jim James approach to those songs. So that's good. Just an acoustic guitar, I think. I haven't heard it all yet. So second one, is a record I've heard but never owned. And that is the debut record from Matt Mays. He, of course, was formerly in a band called the Guthries from the East Coast. He was also a member of, there's Matt Mays and El Torpedo, but I think that's wrapped up, maybe. I'm not sure about that. But this is his first record from 2002 as a solo artist, self-titled. And the hypes, by the way, this was marked down and then marked down and marked down. So I paid about $11 for this record. So it includes the City of Lakes and Where Am I Going bonus 7-inch single, which has the original recording of City of Lakes, which is re-recorded for here. And again, a really terrible white inner sleeve. The insert, which is a picture of Matt, some credits, and the 7-inch single, which is cool. So I do feel strange having not had this for a while, because it's an album I know and like pretty well. He's a singer-songwriter. I guess depending on your persuasion, you might say indie or you might say alt country. I'm happy with both of those descriptions. That's probably fair enough. And of course, I do like to read reviews of records. And normally, if I buy something new, like the new record from PJ Harvey, for example, I will listen to it and then read reviews after if I think about it. But this one I had heard before, so I did read a review quite soon after I got it because I was curious of what they said about it. Now, I will say I like side 2 better than side 1. But I'm going to read a snippet of the review because I really find it interesting. And then I'm going to tell you what they gave it out of 5 stars. So here we go. The entire record sounds like it has been done before, and with more energy by Old 97s, with more daring by Wilco, with more passion by the Jayhawks, and with more ambition by Whiskey Town. You get the picture. Maze's album is for the kind of rabid fan of alt country who needs to get every record by everyone performing this style. Anyone else will find the record to be pleasant and professional, but not very essential. Okay, I read that and thought, well, they're going to give it like 2 stars. They give it 4.5 stars out of 5. So almost a perfect score, and yet the review sounds like they hated it. What is going on? That's not the first time I've seen that on AllMusic. It's very strange. Often I disagree with the reviews on AllMusic. Sometimes they're completely off the mark, but this is worth having. Now, the third record I'm going to mention today is this one, with this really great album art on the front and the back. And the inside, but not a single piece of text or writing anywhere. You have to look at the spine for that, and you will see ELPH versus Coil. The album is called Worship the Glitch. This was originally released in 1995. This is the 2018 re-release on 2 pieces of vinyl. Now, Coil is I guess you'd say experimental electronic post-industrial band that started in England in 1983 by I'm going to forget his name, but he was in Psychic TV and also Throbbing Gristle. Again, very interesting bands, and I do have some Throbbing Gristle. And in 1984, he partnered with someone, and they became a real band. Now, there was always some question of what does ELPH mean, and it says the following online: ELPH is the entity Coil uses to describe what musical compositions come out of the equipment that are sometimes unrehearsed or consciously thought of. In other words, they're describing mistakes or errors. This record is really heavy in drones, rhythms, sequences. Here we have the hype sticker, which says, official reissue of Coil's 1995 conceptual ambient album on double LP for the first time. Shattered electronics driven by error and chance. And the labels look like this. That's side B, this is side A. There is also a sticker in here, which I think I dropped on the floor, and then there is a listing of the tracks, because otherwise they appear nowhere. Oops, they appear nowhere on the album or the label. So that's what's on here. And 2 pieces of vinyl. Pretty interesting record. Kind of esoteric, maybe not well known. Certainly doesn't have your verse, chorus, verse structure. It's very experimental and strange. And then what might be described as almost the opposite of that record is a band called Lightning Bolt, and this is called what's it called? Oblivion Hunter. Originally from 2012, this came out in 2022 as a reissue, and this consists of recordings made back in around 2008 that were never put on a record. This is from Thrill Jockey, one of my favorite record labels. I think that record label is pretty fantastic. This is a band from Providence, Rhode Island, in the noise or psych rock category. There's 2 Brians, Brian Chippendale and Brian Gibson, I think. One on bass and vocal, one on guitar, one on drums and vocals. My memory of reading about them was that they would perform on a floor, not a stage, and people would just gather around, which would work for a small band, but not for a giant one, obviously. Download card. This is the insert. And there were 4 versions of colored vinyl that this came on. This one is the limited edition, again, I don't know how many, translucent rainbow splatter version. And this is, I think if you're Ben Rankins, you might call this a shed burner. It's really high energy. Your neighbors would complain if you played it too loud. It's kind of in your face. Walls of guitar noise. Really interesting music. And I think it's really engaging. And, oh yeah, I forgot to say, I think the Coil record was around $12. That was about $8. And this one was $7 or $8 after discount. It's from the OCs or DOCs or many of the names they use. This is John Dwyer's project. This is the Grave Blockers EP. Originally released in 2006 on a 6-inch lathe cut vinyl, and then I think the next year they put it out on 7-inch vinyl. Then that was 2010, and then 2019 these 12-inch versions came out. That's the track listing. The other side is just blank, and it's on this transparent or just clear vinyl, 45 RPM. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty much anything with the OCs I'm interested in. Everything I've heard I've really loved. I find them really intriguing. And so that is it for part 1. As I say, I will have, I think, 3 more videos of things I bought on this sale. A mixture of things that you might know and a mixture of things that maybe are a little more esoteric. But thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video.